Hello everyone, welcome back to Kona. Welcome back to another Monday and a new routine. So today's a bit different because after a year of shielding, treatment, surgery, today was my first day back at work at my new job.
Briefcase wanker.
So the job is it's 3 days a week as an estimator at a company called Hull Construction. I did work there a long time ago, once upon a time. Really nice company to work for, they've been super flexible with me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck in. Thankfully the office is very close to home, so like I finished at 5 o'clock today, I'm able to get back home within 10 minutes and I'm straight out for the ride. So as I was saying, tonight's ride's super easy, just 1 hour recovery spin. And all we're going to be doing is riding out along the normally quiet roads, but they're quite busy today, down to Pierce Bridge, turn around and going straight back home. All low zone heart rate and things like that, just nice and easy. And depending on how good we feel, might chuck a little bit of a TT effort in towards the end. But this is just getting the fatigue out the legs for the weekend. And yeah, enjoying a bit of the sun on the evening. So let's get on with the ride. And there we go, just like that. We're at the turnaround point. There's 67, so I can go that way. I can turn left to Darlow, I can go right down to Pierce Bridge. But today we're just going to turn straight around and have a nice spin straight back, basically. So same again, just nice and steady, bit of time on the aero bars, back home. And I've been invited to a barbecue, so if I need any more incentive to get the pace up a little bit and get home earlier, that's it. So see you back in about 30 minutes and we'll get back home. So following a nice easy ride yesterday, which I'll put the details on the screen now actually, because while filming the outro yesterday it all corrupted, basically because my GoPro hates the cold. So everything corrupted and all it was audio, so might as well put it up now. But yeah, it was about 18 miles, nice and easy, and most of it was spent on the aero bar, partly because the roads are so bad around here. It actually vibrated one of the screws holding the elbow riser in place, vibrated that loose and I was worried about losing it, so pretty much the entire ride was done in aero. So but can't it's how that bike's meant to be ridden, so can't complain too much. But anyway, that's enough about yesterday's ride and into today's session, which is Tuesday. I've just got a nice easy hour's run meandering around the nature trails, and yeah, just quite similar to last week, just really steady in the base zone. I'll probably try and focus to try and keep it a little bit lower, the heart rate today, purely just because this run's happening a bit later. Obviously now I'm trying to fit everything in around work, and yeah, just I don't get quite as much opportunity to fuel and prepare for these runs because I'm doing them straight back from the office. So we're going to head around these nature trails, and yeah, hopefully it all goes nicely, and yeah, we'll see how we do. Well, I'm about 30 minutes through the run now and I'm loving this. Great conditions are lovely tonight, it's nice and cool. Still a bit of sun about, but it's not too warm or anything like that. Birds are singing. Lovely evening for a run. I'm gonna enjoy this. So that's the run done. Did just under 13 kilometres in an hour and 4, and we stayed 5 minutes and 1 second a kilometre, so we stayed pretty much bang on at that easy pace. That run was paced much more sensibly than Sunday's long run, but I'm not complaining about either of them really. This one was focused on recovery and things like that. In the Sunday long run, I'd rather is a bit more towards race pace. So I'm going to get my dinner. So back home now. I'm going to get my lunch, got my tea, and night recovery. So catch you tomorrow. Now it is Thursday now, but I'm going to talk a little bit first about Wednesday, because I managed to get out to the start of my ride yesterday, pulled the GoPro out of my pocket and realised I hadn't even bothered putting a battery in it.
You're funny.
So yeah, so there's absolutely zero footage from the ride. Now yesterday on the plan, on the ride, I had essentially a Sweetspot session booked in, which was meant to be on Zwift. Now ever since that wobble where I overheated the other week and sort of wrecked myself, I've been a little bit put off Zwift while the weather's getting warmer and stuff. So I did a little bit of research into Sweetspot training and came across an article that kind of basically said that it was just essentially the equivalent RPE around 4 or 5. So I thought, right, okay, we'll get outside. I'll find a couple of stretches of road, which is a bit of a sort of shallow incline, a couple of percent. And yeah, 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll do, rather than do one big 20-minute effort, I thought, okay, I'll do these. I'll just do repeats of these inclines. And there's one really good one on the estate, which is coming uphill on Highton Lane, which is probably, I think it's maybe about 4 miles to get out to it, which is where I found the battery wasn't in the GoPro. And then the interval itself is probably about 1.5 miles. So I did one of those yesterday, and before I realised, like halfway through the first interval of that, I realised the sun was beaming straight in my eyes, and I was just cringing every time a car came past me, because there's not a chance in hell that they would have been able to see me. I had a light on the bike, and for some reason it kept going off, but it was just an accident waiting to happen. So after doing the one of those, I found another one, which was quite similar, which I'll pop up on the screen here. Still averages a couple of percent across the whole distance. I think it's probably about a 5 or 6 minute interval. Well, for me it is. Probably for some of the pros who might be watching this, it'll be about a 2 minute interval for those who'll be flying up here. But so yeah, so we did that. I did a couple of repeats of those, along with there's a bit of a time trial, 3 mile time trial loop around the industrial estate, which is done on relatively decent roads, and it's nice and flat as well, so you can keep a nice consistent power output going. And I did a couple around there. So yesterday's ride actually worked out really nice. The legs felt like they took it pretty well, and yeah, and I probably, maybe at the upper end, I would say probably as an RPE scale, probably around 4 or 5. So looking at Strava powers, on the flat, I don't think it's miles out compared to what a power meter would be. So, and they're all coming back around about 150, 160 watts, which is kind of where I was hoping to be. The heart rate was only around about sort of mid to high 130s as well, which I was really pleased with for that effort. And yeah, overall, it was just a really good session. So if you have things like Sweetspot training coming up, and you live somewhere where there's some decent quality flattish roads around a loop, and you want to do it outside rather than being locked indoors on Zwift when, well, I'll give you an idea, locked indoors on Zwift when the sun's like this outside these days. So yeah, if you'd rather do it outside, yeah, basically if you just go out and focus on an RPE of about 4 or 5, you get similar sort of results from the articles that I read. So yeah, that was basically Wednesday's ride. So I'll pop the details up on the screen with the splits. I think I covered about 20 mile in total, or a little bit less. And yeah, and then we'll get into Thursday. Right, so welcome to the present. So Thursday morning at the moment, it's, well actually I say Thursday morning, it's very close to the afternoon now. Thursdays and Fridays on my new job, I'm off, and they are basically focused on, well, not training, recovery, and just doing other things for trying to promote the charity work, and just bits and bobs around the house, basically just getting back into work and things like that. So Thursday morning, this morning first thing, I went for my first swim back, which I loved. Actually, it was brilliant. It was awesome being back in the pool again. It was relatively quiet. There was a couple of people in the other few lanes and stuff, but there was, in the lane I was in, there was, I think there was a lass there for a little while who was around about a similar sort of speed to me, and then there was a bloke in there who came in later on who was about the same pace. So yeah, I mean, it was just easy to just get on. I wasn't in people's feet. I didn't have people coming over the top of me or anything like that. It was just nice and chilled. So the session this morning, basically all I did was do a couple of, I did sort of 3 or 4 times 200 meter intervals, just at probably a effort round about, I would say maybe 4 or 5 RPE for the intervals, and then I did a longer, probably I think it was 600 meters, 650 meters before from the end of those 200 meter intervals until kicking out time basically. And that was just super easy, trying to keep it basically the equivalent of like zone 2 running. It was just nice trying to focus on fundamentals that I'd remembered from before. And like I say, I've been in the pool for 3 months now. So trying to keep the hands nice and soft, trying to make sure the elbows high and the catches coming in, and I'm getting nice and close to my side as I come through my stroke. And yeah, just trying to practice these little form cues which I was learning before lockdown closed all the pools. I felt relatively fresh getting out the pool as well, and it was probably just shy of a mile. I'll be up here on the screen somewhere now. And yeah, it was great. The one thing I will say is, if you've not got back into the pool yet, and you're looking to get into it, is just take it easy when you first get in. Obviously, unless you've been doing a lot of like band work or swim cord stuff, your rotator muscles and things like that, and just your muscles around the shoulders, they won't have probably been worked as much as they are when you were swimming 2-3 times a week, and they will fatigue a little bit quicker. So yeah, so some nice short punchy things, and then some longer easier stuff, and you'll probably get back into it pretty quickly. I am back there 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, which I'm looking forward to, and the only other thing to say is I can't really film in there because of privacy things. Obviously there's people in there with me, and so unfortunately I can't film there. So you can't see how bad my swimming form is. But yeah, right, I'll catch you outside on the run, and yeah, we'll try and find a nice route to do it there. Right guys, so we're out on the run now. So on the plan today is basically an over-under session. So there's a little 15-minute warm-up, and I think about a 10 or 15 minute cool down, and then about half an hour in the middle, just 1 kilometre over-unders. And basically the HRV score wasn't very good today. Now I'm meant to be doing probably floating between sort of 350 and 410 I think on the plan, or somewhere around that. But with the HRV score being pretty low today, I don't want to push it if that feels out of reach. So we'll try the first one, and if it feels a bit too hard, we'll back off the times for the over-unders, and worst case we'll just knock it down to a longer steadier run, maybe at a sort of top of zone 2. But yeah, so we'll get around the loop and see which one we end up with basically. But like I always say, it's important to listen to the body and take this HRV score into account to make sure that I'm not going to injure myself or do something silly. So we're going to get on with the run, and yeah, hopefully in 10 minutes time, once this warm-up is done, we feel good enough to just push on. Well, yeah, as well, one other little experiment I'm going to try today is just practice with some different types of nutrition. This run today I wouldn't normally need the carbs, but I am interested to see how these Cliff energy bars sit on my stomach. I've tried them on the bike and they work pretty well on there, along with the oat flapjacks. But obviously running tends to turn your gut up a little bit more, so try it today out on the run and just see how that sits with us. Because obviously Ironman's only 12 weeks away, 13 weeks away now, so I've got to start taking these a bit more seriously. Right, just a quick update. I'm going to abandon this workout and just turn it into probably a little bit above zone 2 run, or just top end of zone 2 run. I've done 2 little test sections there. I did one interval which was probably just trying to get up to a really good top end speed, probably only about 300 metres, 400 metres, and then started the first fast K, and yeah, probably working a lot harder than I had to just to get under 4 minutes a K. So yeah, it's starting the legs today, and I think I mean straight away as soon as I started fatiguing the legs, loud. Yeah, and as soon as the fatigue starts getting in the legs, I can feel the form going to pot, so I'm not willing to risk an injury today on one tempo session, on one threshold session. So yeah, we'll try and set this into a sort of top of zone 2, low end tempo run, and just running out probably around about the rest of this loop, which should tell you about 8 miles, but we'll find out at the end. So yeah, we'll just get on with a nice steady run then. Scoff this cliff bar and see how that sits on the stomach, and at least we'll get something out of it today. So let's get going. Right, so we just finished about a 20-minute interval there, which I would consider to be half decent tempo pace for me. It was about 4:20 a k for about 20 minutes, so a little under 5k I suppose. Yeah, it felt pretty decent, but the legs certainly do feel quite heavy today. But really, I need to get used to running that tempo with this fatigue in my legs. So, although I'm not doing the actual prescribed session today, I should get something decent out of it. On the nutrition front, I'm about halfway through this cliff bar. It's sitting pretty well so far. Pretty happy with it. It's easy to eat, it's not too dry. Obviously I haven't got a drink with me today, which I probably would have access to on race day. But yeah, pretty good so far. And I think, well, judging by where I'm at, I'm probably coming to about 10k, 11k. I've probably got about 5 or 6k home, which we'll chuck another 15-20 minutes of tempo in on the way back, and then the remainder will just be a nice easy jog. Right, so there we go, that's the end of the second 20-minute tempo interval. Basically just trying to hold a good speed, basically as fast as I could maintain without the form starting to get sloppy. And that second one was a bit faster, around about 4:20 a k, so happy with that. Feel a bit burpy, but other than that, pretty good. So, there we go. So, nice steady jog, probably try and hold about 5 minutes a kilometre pace. And we'll hold that all the way back home. We're probably only a mile or two from home now. And that'll round out the run. So, right, let's get on with it. I'll wrap the totals up at the end. So that's just at the end of the run. Just shy of 15k, hour and 7. So, oh, whoops, done that wrong. Try finishing it on the watch. So yeah, 1 hour and 7 minutes for about 15k. And it'll tell me where are we. But yeah, it was pretty hard work actually. I mean, the threshold just wasn't in the legs, but held a pretty good tempo pace for me, so it's averaged a 4:35 a k for the whole run, which yeah, I'm pretty happy with for 15k. So, and obviously not going right all the way at threshold should make it a bit easier to recover for. But anyway, we've got rest day tomorrow, but I am swimming again first thing in the morning, and then into the big weekend. Hopefully this weather holds and we can get out on the bike somewhere really nice, and hopefully get some really nice footage if we're lucky. So I'll catch you then. Okay guys, we're on a Saturday and just super easy long run today. This was meant to happen on Sunday, but because of conflicting schedules with some of the people I was riding with, we've moved the ride to Sunday, so I'm going to do the run today. So it's a little bit backwards, and obviously tomorrow's ride is going to probably have a bit more sort of fatigue in the legs, because I do tend to get a little bit sore after running than riding, but oh well, we'll deal with that tomorrow. But today we've got about 22k. HRV score was pretty low today, so it's going to be pretty easy going. I'm still feeling a bit, the legs are still feeling a little bit heavy off the tempo run the other day. So yeah, this should be a nice recovery session. But I would imagine I'll probably feel pretty tired by the end of it. Not a huge deal to talk about with today's session. I mean, it's pretty simple. Just pretty simple, normal long run. Round a loop I've done quite a few times, and it does work out to be pretty much bang on a half marathon, 21-22k. So maybe just have to chuck a little bit an extra mile in somewhere, just to maybe work it up, but we'll see how we feel. Right, we're going to get on with the run, and yeah, catch you at the end. So just shy of 10k in, and probably about a kilometre away from turning towards the return leg home. Yeah, so far going really nice. Legs are feeling pretty fresh now they've warmed up and loosened up a little bit, and the RPE is super low, We're averaging about 5:11 a k at the moment, which is a pretty good, easy pace. I feel super comfortable, so the heart rate's barely been above 140 yet, so hold this for the rest of the way home. Okay, so home about now. Just coming through 19 kilometres, and yeah, we've held that pace pretty well actually. Sitting around 5 minutes a k, it's currently at 4:58, and the effort felt super low all the way around. Heart rate's still staying down, although it is starting to drift up a touch now. But we are about 95 minutes into the run, so there's no two starts to fade at that point for me. So yeah, just gonna keep it nice and easy. Last couple of kilometres, and then the rest of the day is spent chilling at the beach. So there we go, we're at the beach. Nice place to chill out, although that wind that you can hear is freezing. So yeah, so we'll just summarise the run today. It was a 13.1 miles, so half marathon again, and it was 7:53 a mile, and the average heart rate was only 143, which is a lot lower than usual, and it felt super easy actually, considering the legs felt heavy to start with. But yeah, now we get to chill out and just let the legs recover for tomorrow's bike session. So a little bit of a backwards weekend for once, but I suppose nice to mix it up a little bit. Right, just enjoy the views. Jake! Right, hey guys, just been a bit quieter today because people are still asleep, but we're just about to head out on a long ride. Going to head to a place called Middleton in Teesdale today. Just have a quick turn around and come back. So a bit more elevation in the legs today, because it's pretty much uphill for probably the first 3 quarters, I think, and then rolly after that. But it should be a nice easy ride back home. And yeah, just good 4.5 hours out, getting miles in the legs and getting some elevation in the legs, try and get them a bit stronger for bolting. Today I'm also testing out under all these layers the hoob, my hoob long course tri-suit. So just to make sure that it's comfy enough on the bike and stuff. I've used it a bit, but never for a ride this sort of length. And the one thing that's immediately coming to mind, with it being like a one-piece tri-suit, is how I'm going to manage to go to the toilet. So hopefully nothing too terrible strikes today. Right, so I'm going to fill the bottles and get out on the bike. I will try and get some footage outside, but with the way the wind noise has been on the last few weeks on the bike, I'm not massively hopeful, but yeah, I'll see if we can pick up some of the sights anyway, at least in sort of Shrews around kind of Middleton. Might get up as far as Cow Green, which is lovely to see as well. So right, I'll see you out on the ride. Well, I'm not sure where we are, but it's lovely. I've driven past here before, but I'm not 100% sure where it is. I know it's sort of a million miles away from High Force. Oh, stop bubble. Which is kind of the way I'm looking now. Probably about 10 miles that way. But keep going. Down up ahead. There you go. Oh, gonna make do with this view. Well, I'll go over the edge there. I'll have time to pull the wife before I hit the floor. Long way down. From Newbiggin over the top of the Moors. Oh, I'm dying. Very high up now. So plenty to go. There we go. So we're descending off the top now, down into Westgate. A little bit sketchy with the amount of gravel on the road when you're trying to brake, but some view. I would video the descent, but I'm bricking it a bit when I'm going into the corners. But a little bit hazy, but what a view. Right, back for the ride. So just to wrap it up for the week, the ride popped up on Strava now, so it's 64 mile it was, with 4,200 feet of climbing, which I think nearly all of that must have been that one climb over the from Teesdale over the tops back down into Weardale on the other side. But there were some cracking views, like you say. I mean, I tried to take a few pictures, but some of the descents were so sketchy I couldn't really film on them. But yeah, absolute wicked ride. Big thanks to Dan from the Tri Club for showing me around, because I never even would have found the entrance to that climb. You had to like go up this weird, it looked like somebody's driveway or someone's alleyway, and then you take a left at the top, and then you're straight off up on the climb into the moors and the hills and stuff. But yeah, it was a really good ride. I'll pop the stats up, and then it's coming up as like 4 hours 23. I think moving time it was probably a little bit less than that, because we did stop and I forgot to pause my watch, and it hasn't got auto pause on it, so it was probably closer to 4 hours, I think, actual riding time. And yeah, I'm happy with that actually. I think it's saying average in there about average of 14.6, 15 mile an hour with all that incline in it. That's pretty happy with that. So that's like essentially a bit over a half distance ride, with a good bit more than half the climbing in for Bolton. So it's a decent little test ride, but yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about doing another 40 mile straight off the back of that now, let alone a marathon after all that. So, but yeah, rest of the day I just need to chill out and get some recovery in, because it's back to work tomorrow. So big thanks for following along, and yeah, if you've watched all the way at the end, just thanks for supporting, and yeah, I'll leave it then, and I'll catch you next week for hopefully another good solid week.